hi there. Is it afternoon?
I think it slid into it. At one point, it slid into that.
I see you got your nice shady spot picked out.
Yeah, actually, it's actually that time of year where you have to start thinking sun versus shade. And when in the winter, we were looking for the sun. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I took my son up to Mount Lemon yesterday.
I bet it's cool. Was it
And
cool?
I didn't know if there was going to be any snow up there still. We went all the way up to the ski area, and we went on that chairlift ride.
Oh, fun.
There wasn't any snow, as it turns out, but we got there maybe like mid-afternoon, and they're only open until like 4 o'clock there. And I tell you, when the shadows started hitting up there, it was only like 40 degrees up there yesterday. So, but it's nice. You can just drive an hour back into town, and it'll be nice and warm. You can warm up your bones. And
You're talking to two old Alaskans here, so
Alaskans?
I have been up at Mount Lemon once.
yeah. So
I will never complain about the cold ever again. If you guys are from Alaska, where in Alaska did you live?
I had lived in both Fairbanks and Anchorage.
Oh, well, did you know each other up there?
We our paths had crossed in Fairbanks, yes.
Oh, no
but
kidding.
we hadn't seen it for a while.
And I'm from the Kenai Peninsula, which is like they're almost pretty close to the south, the southern end
Yeah.
of Alaska. Homer is the last, is about an hour and a half away. That I was in Soldotna area.
So you guys didn't know each other, or your paths did cross up there?
We did.
We used to know
from
each other
early
when I lived in
Fairbanks.
Fairbanks many
Yeah.
years
How in the
ago.
world did you end up in Tucson at the same place?
Well, it was a little crazy, but we're both obviously Jehovah's Witnesses, so that starts one common denominator.
Okay.
but a mutual friend had actually got a condominium down here a couple of years ago,
Uh-huh.
and so she was beckoning, especially me, and then Karen when she wanted to move, she got in touch with that too. So it's
Wow.
good. It's good. It's pretty extremes, but it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Well, that's the
And
way
then
to go.
and sometimes when the big chunk of your life is something that is stable, no matter where you go, we could go to, one of Joe's witnesses could go to Johannesburg, South Africa, and it'd be the same chunk of life would be the same, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's kind of good. That gives for a good measure of stability, and simply because you know what you're doing. Kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's routine.
Yep.
Routine helps anybody get through.
Yeah, we humans
a day
like that.
or anything. Yeah.
Or we should.
Yeah, I mean, I know I travel a lot for work, so when I can maintain like little routines in my day, doesn't matter where I am, it kind of gets me through the day, and
That's what it's all about.
helps you click those days off. Actually, I was wondering if you could help me with something. I got a book at an airport stand, kind of like this, and I thought it was that book that you have there, but do you have another book that's kind of like that?
Yes.
And this is the more simplified one, which I enjoy even better than the other one.
The other one is just what does the Bible really teach?
Yeah.
That is the name of it.
Do you have any copies of that?
You know what? I might have one in my car. Let me just jog out.
This is like almost exactly like it, but the
Well,
wording,
maybe
I
I can-
love it even better.
Maybe I can. Well, I don't mean to have you go off anywhere.
But my car's just out there. It's easy enough.
I really highly recommend this one. It's a lot better than the other one.
Well, I had a
basically
question
the
about
same.
something that I read in that other
Let's
book,
see,
actually.
Okay, if we can get what chapter.
So I was reading in. Okay, let's see. This is end notes,
Here, you got a Bible?
summary.
Yeah, that's what we really need, the Bible.
So when I was reading that other book, it seemed that you kind of actually got into the meat and potatoes of things
Yes.
when you got into the appendix.
Yes,
Some
a
of
little
the
more depth than the appendix.
yeah, there
yes.
wasn't. It was kind of a superficial content in some of the chapters, but I was kind of interested when I got into the appendix. And the appendix,
This may be different in that it has what I think they call end notes.
Yeah, so
the
this
end notes
this
are
doesn't.
similar to the appendix.
Yeah, I was looking at
There's
it,
some
but
stuff
it didn't
back in
have.
the back.
Well, the reason I was asking is
Here.
because in the appendix of that, because I read that book on the plane,
Oh, good for you.
and when I got to the appendix, it kind of seems like that's where the real stuff kind of started. And there were two references I was wondering if I could pick up from you. There was one that was talked about. It was called. It was an exploration of the Trinity belief, and there was apparently there's a book you guys put out about the Trinity, about does the Bible really teach a Trinity, something like that.
Yes, there was a brochure.
Yeah, a
Yes,
brochure.
a
Right,
brochure,
right,
yes,
right.
there was.
Can I get a copy of that? Do you have that?
You know, I don't know that is still in print, but it is very well researched. It's an incredibly, the bibliography alone on it was very impressive. Let me, you know what I think is it would be a matter of somebody's personal library. Now, I think I have one at home.
You make that
And
anymore?
I might have one.
Huh?
I might have one too. Would you come here next Tuesday? Or
It's
somehow
possible.
Can we get it to him?
Yeah, because I'm
Well,
pretty sure it's
maybe
not
there's
even online.
where there were a couple things there were a couple
Okay.
titles that I took note of.
Yes.
The other one, so that was one thing I thought would be interesting to explore that publication, but it sounds like that's like out of
because
print or
it is
something.
very well researched. Because
Now-
that's one where actually.
If it's well researched, do you mind me asking why it's out of print?
Because you know what, very few, to be quite honest with you anymore, in our door-to-door work, which is our mainstay of talking to people about God's Word, very few people even know what the Trinity is anymore. They don't.
Oh, really? Really?
And yet most nominal Christians do teach, their doctrine teaches the Trinity. But you know, if you were to ask, you had 10 people lined up and you would ask them what is the Trinity, I would dare say
was it any different a few years ago? I mean, what do you?
Well, when
what
brochure,
changed?
yes, when that brochure was printed, there were people who really did know.
Is that a really old one or something?
Yeah, I'm sure it's back in the 70s.
70s? That's not too
I would
old.
say
I'm from the 70s.
But
That's
the
not that old.
information is still good.
Yeah, well, the information is still good. Is there?
Well, it is still good. Yes, there's no
Yes.
doubt because it's Bible based.
Okay.
I mean, when things are Bible based, but that particular one did the history.
Right, and that's
which
what I'd be
and
kind of
actually
interested
the
in finding
library
out
is
about.
Quite good for that.
Right here?
The library is an excellent source to research because it was about close to 300 years after the death of Christ that the Trinity doctrine was formulated. I think it was the Council of Nicaea. Some of those things are.
Well, I mean, I don't know about
interesting
that. I mean,
history.
there's been Trinity worship going back to the Egyptians. I mean, the
Yes,
Trinity was not
triunes.
not invented
they're
in the
definite.
third century.
No, but
Or the fourth century.
incorporated in religion that professes to be Christian.
Oh, I see.
So that's when that was capsulized.
the,
But you're right. You're very right about the ancient Egyptians, the Babylonians, all had triads.
Yeah.
Yes.
It goes back a long time.
Yes, indeed.
Well, the other, it made right at the beginning of the appendix. There was also mention made of another book that for you guys that you recommended for additional research. It was called Reasoning on the Scriptures. I think it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a copy of that?
No, I just have my personal copy.
Do you have a copy that?
You know what? I'm trying to think if I've got my car. If I've got something.
I have my personal copy here. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that gets into a lot. Yes, it does.
And that primarily.
Can I get a copy of one of those?
You know, I don't know if we've got any.
What I was going to see is if it's online. Is it online? Do you know? I don't think it is online either.
I don't know.
Well, that book that I picked up in the library, copyright was like 2014, so it should be.
That book, yes.
That one. Well, but I guess my reason for saying that is because it said in the appendix of that
It referenced
2014 book, it said, and it recommended at least a couple different publications, and this was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that gets into everything.
Yeah. It looks like,
It's
is it like a
excellent.
pocket encyclopedia or something like that?
Well, it's basically simply is reasoning from the scriptures. I mean, so it's your
Yeah.
scriptural. Now that would have one on. I don't think it would have the Trinity because the word is not in the Bible. It only has Bible-based words, but it would have it under God. It would have it under God. Would be where.
Oh yeah, there's a Trinity
there's
right there.
Trinity right there.
Oh, there is one. It is there. Okay.
Four
To make
or
sure it
five.
didn't have Trinity because it wasn't from the Bible.
Is there any way that I could get a copy of that? I mean, that's your personal copy, so.
Yeah, we'll have to.
You know what? I
check to
just
see if
need to
we've got
see
one.
in my because I might have an extra one in my at home.
Oh, yeah?
In my library that I'd be surely happy to give you.
All right.
One of two things: you can jot down where you live, and we can run it by, or
Phone number.
How about if I give you my phone number? You can text me,
okay, I can do that. That sounds good.
and then whatever day you're available, maybe I can
Yes.
swing back by
Yes.
and pick that up.
And I will actually look to see if I happen to have a new copy.
So
of
my name is Curtis, Curtis, and I still have a.
The 520.
Actually, no, it's my personal cell is
Yeah, I'll do that today. I'll go. I live in a studio, so it's small enough that I should be able to access that where I've got anything extra. But if not, I'll even ask around because there's a lot of people that have have a lot more room to store things than I do.
Oh, you're not getting it from.
Well, no, it's
your
out of
personal
print
library?
also. Yeah, it's out of print also.
So why would a
But I may
2014
one.
You have- 'cause
I have
publication
several.
point to out of print material? That seems kind of strange.
That's true. I may have one because
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you, and that is actually a question I would have to get an answer to myself.
I mean, it's not like
I
I'm
agree
asking
with
for.
what
I'm
you're
not. I'm
saying.
not asking for something from like the 1900s or something like that.
No,
I mean,
no. Curtis, that's a
Right?
totally valid point. Yeah, totally valid what you're saying.
Okay.
Our literature focus. People, a lot of times, people have just they don't have the depth of questions that people used to have regarding the Bible anymore. And so our literature, like even saying what the Bible teaches us, where like Kay was saying it was in a simplified version, because they haven't read the Bible for starters, and so they haven't formulated questions about what's Bible teaching, and so as a result, that's the level. I'm not saying it's dumbed down. It's not dumbed down in any sense of the word, but it's written.
It sounded a little bit.
Huh?
It sounded a little bit based on what you just said.
I think though intellectually you're probably grasp things more than a lot of people that we spend time with. And
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think if
we
you
offer free home Bible studies.
Yeah, I think if you're outside a library, I think a lot of people that would be coming to the library, are used to doing research and stuff. So.
Yes, I think, but this is just, I mean, everyone can grasp it.
No.
And it's very expensive because we have a lot of information. And
So
it's very expensive to make
everything that's at this display kind of like a basic, kind of like a superficial discussion? I mean, do you have any? It sounds like I kind of get the gist that what I was asking for might be a little bit more in depth than you typically have at a stand. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay.
If I had the 5 questions on life, and I don't think that is here right now, that would be one that would. But you already sound like you actually have a personal belief in God. That we must have given that away to somebody.
Okay. Well, I'll wait for your text. No rush.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
I know we won't be here next Tuesday, but someone else would be. So if you was coming by,
We're
we
not
could
here
ask
next
them.
Tuesday.
No,
So
but
we're
someone
not-
else would
okay.
be, and we could leave information with them if you wanted to stop by here.
Sure.
Yeah,
We'll just
that
text them
sounds
and
good.
find
Yeah, I'd
a
be
way to
interested.
catch up. with you.
I'd be interested in kind of taking a look at some of that, because it sounds like I'd be more interested in kind of more the in-depth research. It seems like went into some other publications.
Yeah.
That other one apparently wasn't really for my tastes, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Well, great. Well, thanks, ladies.
Yeah. Okay.
Have a
Thanks
great
for
day.
stopping
Hey,
and asking.
I had one other question. I don't know if you could. Are you guys affiliated with this hall over here next to Lakeside Park?
Yes. That is our Kingdom Hall.
I was just curious, why do a lot of the Kingdom Halls in town not have windows?
Because of vandalism.
Had you had vandalism problems?
Yeah, there's vandalism. Well, I mean, even the news, churches and all kinds of things become targets for vandalism.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like a 8-foot fencing, like a stockade fencing around your property and a lock gate. I mean,
The lock gate is only really after, hours where people would not be in there.
Yeah.
And it really is just simply because of senseless vandalism.
But you didn't have a problem specifically there?
I just moved here 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
I
so
haven't heard of any.
But we're both new.
But we're
here.
new.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my daughter is a freshman at NAU, and I was in. We were driving through a couple of the neighborhoods in Flagstaff on our recent visit, and I noticed it seems like kind of like a design element at Kingdom Halls.
it
that
is.
there's,
But
there's
I
no
know that
there's
the
no
one
windows.
in Alaska, we had windows.
We had Florida. We actually.
But
had,
you see, here we have
Florida-
sun, and this is where you figure you'd want the light to come in.
We had ceiling to floor windows at the hall that I was at. I mean, they were fabulous. It was
In
packed.
Alaska?
And the moose would come up during the talk. You know,
No kidding?
They'd be nibbling at the thing, and you're trying to pay attention, and you'd be looking at that little moose eating the bushes. But
There's no such thing as a little moose.
yeah, a
So
little
maybe-
moose eating the bushes.
Maybe that's part of it, because then we're not looking outside in the sunshine. We're paying attention to the speaker.
Oh, I tell you, if there was a moose outside the window, I wouldn't be paying attention either.
Yeah, you never get tired of those kind of things. That's for sure.
Right on. Well, ladies, have a great day.
Okay, nice
All
to
right,
visit with
we'll
you.
see you.
Notice that we'll text you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.